What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel where we talk about soccer, aka football, if you're across the pond. Today, we are going to recap the matches that we had this week. I know we still have one game left with Wolves versus Liverpool, but again, I want to go over the games that we had this weekend, so stick around. So the first match that we had was Aston Villa versus Newcastle. This was kind of a good game, kind of a bad game. I was hoping Jack Grealish was going to be back for a more entertaining match, but this game was still entertaining. We had late drama in this match where Newcastle came back to draw 1-1 and scored a late stoppage time goal, giving them the draw, giving them 1 point, which is well-deserved and well-needed for Newcastle because, again, they are battling that relegation zone. Aston Villa, I think, should have still won this match, but again, they have been dropping a few points since Jack Grealish has been hurt. I think once he gets back, they'll kind of have that firepower, that creativity that he brings to the field, and also the drive to get into the defending box. Because again, I think that's where they're struggling. They can't get the ball into the opposition box and not getting the ball to Ollie Watkins to score or some of the other midfielders. So again, I think when Jack Grealish comes back, Aston Villa should be doing better. I still see them finishing at least in the top half of the table. I'm not sure in top 8 anymore, but we will see. They still have a few games in hand. So again, they could start rising up in the league. The next match we had was Chelsea versus Leeds United. This game, I'm quite shocked, ended 0-0. I thought for sure that there was going to be at least 1 or 2 goals, whether it was going to be for Leeds or for Chelsea, because Leeds typically do not draw any matches. They are known for going all out, whether that's a win or a loss. The fact that they didn't give up any goals, there were a few chances, almost an own goal as well for Leeds United. But overall, both teams had very defensive-sided minds. Chelsea, again, still have not let up many goals this season since Tuchel has been in charge. I think Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta have been doing a solid job. Again, Thiago Silva is still not playing. I'm not sure when he's going to start rotating in. Kurt Zuma may get rotated in as well. But as of right now, I think the 3 in the back with Christensen, Rudiger, and Azpilicueta is looking fairly well. I'm not sure what Tuchel gave to Christensen, but since he's come back, or since Tuchel has been there, Christensen's been able to come back and look phenomenal and looks like a guy that should be starting each and every week, which, again, he deserves it with how well he's been playing. Timo Werner, I mean, we had our top guys up top that could not score. I'm not sure what's still going on up there. We just can't seem to find the back of net with some of our guys going forward. We did make some substitutions. Hudson-Odoi, again, looked good, but again, we start struggling with getting that final third and finding the back of net, which, again, may seem bad overall, but again, we didn't lose, so we'll take the points. Again, we're still fighting for 4th, so we're in 4th, so we'll take it as of right now. Following that match, we had Crystal Palace versus West Brom, which I had mentioned in my previous video that this was going to be a snooze fest, and I'm pretty sure it was. The game ended 1-0. Crystal Palace won. West Brom, again, is the other team that I think is going to get relegated this season. They just can't get things going right. They can't beat the teams they need to beat, and obviously they're not beating the teams that are going to beat them. So I don't see them getting too many more points this season. And again, I think they're going to finish just above Sheffield United, so they'll probably be in 19th place by the end of the season. Hate to say it, but again, that's just going to happen for this team. Crystal Palace overall looked okay, but again, they're a team that don't really bring that wow factor or really have the momentum to keep going. They will be okay this season, but I don't see them, again, really signing a whole big name or big team signing to bring in more firepower for next season. They probably will just be one of those bottom teams again until they can finally start investing in some big players. Now, after that, we had the Everton versus Burnley match, and this one was actually quite shocking because I thought for sure Everton was going to win this game, but I did mention that Burnley does have that solid defense. Again, Ben Mee being one of the main components of that defense, and again, they look great. They only let 1 goal. Everton probably should have maybe got another goal, maybe make a draw, but you can't take anything away from Burnley because the goals that they scored were just absolute crackers. The second goal probably would have been goal of the week, which I would put it here, but As we know, we saw a different goal that we're going to talk about a little bit later that we will feature in this video, so you can watch that. But overall, Burnley, I think, definitely deserved the win. Again, maybe Everton was a little bit unlucky, but I'm not sure what's going on with this handball rule. I thought for sure there was a clear handball for Burnley in the box. It went up, the ball hit his arm. I mean, this is not in a position where you usually have your arm, but wasn't called and nothing happened of it. But Burnley did come back a few minutes later and score a goal, so I guess justice was served in that point. But I wish I understood how this handball is working. I'm pretty sure you wish you did too. VAR is making this very challenging this season. Our next match happened to be Fulham versus Man City, and I mentioned this one. I actually thought there was going to be more goals from Man City, but they did end up winning 3-0. I don't know, Fulham too, it seems to probably be the other team that's going to go down, I think. So my bottom three teams by the end of the season, I think, is still going to be Sheffield. Why can't I think of them right now? West Brom and Fulham. Because even though Fulham is playing pretty well, I don't see them really striving forward much more. I think Newcastle, again, is a team that can chip away and get more and more points. Southampton is the other team that I'm a little worried about. But again, those three, I think, are going to be the main three that are going to go down. Overall, Man City, they look great again. Stones, Diaz, what can we say? This is just a great combination for their CBs and Manchester City. Didn't let up any goals. They're having the season that they need to have. They started off a little bit slower, but they finally got the momentum that they need. And it's showing now. Again, they're pretty clear for Manchester City or Manchester United. So I don't see Manchester United catching them, though they could close the gap a little bit. But again, I think City's got this one in the bag. United probably being second, and then third and fourth is still up in the air. The next match after that was Southampton versus Brighton. And again, I don't understand what's going on with Southampton. They have the players to play well, and yet they show up and don't provide and don't score goals. Yes, they scored one goal this game, but their defense is lacking. Overall, this whole team should be doing so much better. I don't know if it's because Danny Ings isn't playing right now, if he's that big a component for this team to be playing better. But typically, as a forward, you don't have that change the whole dynamics of the whole squad. But maybe because of his speed, his finishing, that is allowing the other teams to push up a little more because they don't have to worry about Danny Ings slipping by. And maybe because Che Adams isn't scoring as much. He did score again, obviously, but again, he doesn't have the same threat as Danny Ings. So maybe once he comes back, I think they're hoping after the international break. Hopefully so. Again, not a Southampton fan, but I do enjoy watching them, and I think they're a team that should be doing a lot better. They will probably still be okay this season, even though they are on a very downward trend with recent games. But I think once again, Danny Ings comes back, and after international break, they'll really get a few momentum games going. But this was a must game for them, and it was a must game for Brighton as well. And again, taking nothing away from Brighton because they've definitely put it into another gear the last couple of months and been playing so much better. I don't know what's going on with them, but again, overall, they've been playing very well. I think it all started after they beat Liverpool. I think that gave them the mindset that they could beat pretty much any team, and they've been playing pretty well. I think Gross has been one of the stars in that team as of right now. Again, he's been able to dictate and open and create chances for the team. So again, I think Brighton will be okay this season as well. And then the last three games we had, which again, Leicester versus Sheffield United. Again, I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game. It happened to be a high-scoring game. No surprise there because Sheffield has been absolutely terrible this season. Sorry about it. They lost their manager. They split ways. So again, I don't think they're going to win too many more games. I think they're just going to be down and out. Mostly likely a bye week for most teams now. So again, they're going to be at the bottom of the table. They'd have to be the worst team ever in the Premier League, but they're up there for contention because again, this has just been a downright terrible season for Sheffield United. Leicester, taking nothing away from them. I mean, again, they've been playing really well. So again, not too surprised by this win. The next match, though, that I found very surprising was Tottenham versus Arsenal, a London derby. And again, we're going to be talking about one of the goals just in a little bit. But this was one of those games that I thought was going to completely go the other way, and it did not. I think partly due to Son getting hurt coming off. It seems like he had a hamstring injury. Hopefully it's not too bad because he's on my Premier League team. And again, I'm hoping he comes back soon. but he'll probably miss next match and probably come back after international break. But because of that, him coming off, Lamela came on and we saw that wonderful strike, which we're gonna place right here. So I'm gonna be watching this for just a few seconds and take nothing away from this guy, but honestly, I don't think he actually has a right foot. I think his right foot is there for just planting and balancing. I have never really seen him use his right foot. That strike is amazing. Don't take anything away from it. But again, I wonder how great of a player he could be if he had 2 feet that could do that. But I can't say anything else because I can't do that. And obviously it's a great goal, but it wasn't enough. Arsenal still won this match. Lamela actually happened to get a red card as well. What a game he had. So coming on as a sub, scoring that amazing goal, getting a red card, that sums up pretty much most of his games. Arsenal, again, they've been doing really well. Arteta seems to be getting things going again for this team. I think overall, they are going to do fairly well, but they're too far back to really push for top 4. So I think they'll be hoping for Europa League. If they can actually make it to the final in Europa, that can give them a chance to get to the Champions League. But I don't see them next season in the Champions League once again, which I think can hurt them. They may lose a few players or have a harder time signing players. So I think that's going to be a huge issue for this team. But overall, Arsenal has been playing better throughout this season in the last couple months. And then the last match we had was West Ham versus Manchester United. And again, this was another big game because again, these teams are fighting for the top spots. West Ham has been playing fairly well. David Moyes has been having the Hammers perform pretty good for the most part. But again, Manchester United was just another level above them. The game did end 1-0, which I'm not too surprised. Again, Manchester United has definitely more power in the midfield, forwards, or defense. Not saying that West Ham doesn't have a few guys that can really step up, but when you look at both teams, compare both sides, you're definitely realizing how much better Manchester United is than West Ham. And that's the thing too when you look at West Ham compared to the other top 4 teams. I don't see them really competing against City, Leicester, Chelsea. They are right there though. I wouldn't say they're in the top, I wouldn't say they're in the top 5, but top 6. I do still think they can finish for Europa League this season. I know I mentioned earlier that I think they would indefinitely, but as of now, I'm not too sure how the rest of their season is going to end. They do have some tough matches coming up, and again, it all depends on injuries, how well players keep playing, but we'll see for the most part. So don't forget, we still have one more game today. It is Liverpool versus Wolves. Again, Liverpool definitely need a win to kind of get out of this funk that they've been in. Wolves, though, is a team that can always show up and beat any team. They're really solid defensively and probably just score on a counterattack. Neto has been one of those players that have been playing really well for Wolves, so we'll see how this game goes. Really looking forward to it. So I hope you enjoyed what we talked about today. Again, my name is Mike, Chelsea fan. If you haven't liked, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel because, again, it does help this YouTube channel grow. I love talking about soccer. I love talking to you about soccer. And if you think there's anything that I can change or you like or dislike, please let me know. Comment down below because, again, I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel to make it better and better each and every week where we talk about different topics in the Premier League. Sometimes it's strictly about Chelsea, but again, overall the Premier League and soccer in general. So again, like and subscribe. It really helps, and I thank you for it. So we'll see you next time.